Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you very much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to go ahead and take a look here at PYR, Vulcan Forge, kind of see what's going on and help anticipate if it's going to continue to maintain this price point. It's doing very well, and we're going to obviously try to identify some trends and see if there's any potential for it to continue. That being said, I'm not a financial advisor. I love teaching people how to trade. I've been trading for a very long time, and this is my day job. I do this every day for a living, so I can assure you it's very rewarding as long as you are cautious and careful and you make the right decisions. Those are all things I like to try to help you with. I have a trading community. CryptoCache.tech is a website. If you want to become a better trader, learn from my signals that I send so you can kind of see how to structure your trades most effectively, and obviously I have a trading academy where you can learn and grow as a trader. So all good stuff, amazing experience, and we actually have these weekly roundtable discussions I look forward to now. And what we do is we talk openly about anything crypto. You ask any questions you want, we address that together and work on it, and a lot of times we'll do live TA as well. So a lot of fun stuff there. Take a look here at Vulcan Forge. So what we want to kind of do is start with the obvious and work our way down, and then of course kind of theorize on specifics of how much further it could go. Based on the current Fibonacci retracement levels, though, you can kind of see the 200-day SMA is trending right close to its previous all-time high. Remember, roughly a few days ago, 5-6 days ago, we had trouble breaking the 200-day SMA. Bitcoin has still proven not to break the 200 SMA, whereas PYR broke through it strong and quick, and it's now considered to be a support level. You can see the price comes down, so roughly in the range of about $14.50, maybe just say $15 is a round number, is a key level support range for PYR. 50-day SMA is not too big of a deal. We have this ascending type of pattern that kind of gave us an idea that we were going to get a breakout. That's why I sent out the signal in the first place. We've already hit what I believe 2 of our profit targets, if I'm not mistaken. Or is our third at $20? Or no, that's our second. Our second profit target's at $20, and I think our third is at $30. Generally speaking, though, we have a lot of potential here for PYR, and it's definitely a good coin. So if you haven't invested in it already, I think big picture, it's still looking very good. And here's why. Let's go ahead and talk about this. RSI first of all is over 70. Most people would say, okay, it's overbought. It's not gonna continue higher. Not true. When a momentum play, when you have the price break above 70 on the RSI, it can oftentimes hold and stay there for a very long time. So you need to recognize the fact that this is one of those things where it has such strong momentum, such increase in volume, that we have this situation where the price is probably going to continue to go at the very least, sideways from here, and at the best, of course, continue to skyrocket higher. So it's just one of those things. And if we take a look at the history as well, look at any time it's broken above 70 on the RSI. First time it came up and went pretty much sideways from there. Second time it came up, it continued probably about an extra 40% higher than it's at right now. And then it eventually, of course, tapered off, obviously, because that was, the time in which most coins started to dissipate. December, that was a terrible time for Bitcoin, and a handful of other things too. But generally speaking, when you see an RSI over 70, you can expect a continuation. So I don't think this is done pushing at all. There's a strong likelihood it's going to continue higher, just based on that sentiment alone. Again, you never wanted to take a trade based on one thing, but if you were to, you can put your money in most cases on an RSI over 70. When you have a strong continuation like this and increased volume, it'll probably continue higher, and then usually, again, at the very least, consolidate at most recent support, which here at this point could be roughly about 1630. That could be the next key level support if the price were to retrace back down. We can see the price obviously got stuck out right around 1450, and that was before it took off. That was a test that level 2 or 3 times, and then it broke straight through. In fact, it didn't even come back down to test that level. That's how strong it was. Oftentimes you'll see a retest. That being said, the increased amount of volume is causing this to happen. Look at the moving averages too. You can see this is working synonymously in a lot of ways with a trend line here. So we could very well see the price break out, and at the very least, I would say we're going to break 1850 within the next 1 week. In other words, by April 11th, we should be, at the very least, right around 1850 or higher. And the reason why I think that is because, again, this is a trend line, and it's not a guaranteed trend line. Keep that in mind too, though. Most trend lines, in order for them to be like a little more valid or specific, I guess you could say, or just true, I don't know, insert whatever word you want there, right? When you have more validations, more touches on a trend line, the more likely it is to continue, the stronger it becomes. It's kind of the opposite of an approach of a resistance level, right? You test a resistance level multiple times, it becomes weaker. This case here, well, we've seen it obviously start here and it tested once, almost twice here. When we get a third test, just say the price were to come over here sideways and continue upwards, we get that third test that would kind of reaffirm this trend line as official. But what we can kind of confirm though is the fact that the 50-day SMA is working synonymous with that trend line. That to me kind of reiterates the fact that we are in very good shape here and the price is no longer willing to come back down below that point. It's very similar to a concept of, volume weighted average price. You get those standard deviation lines, they expand a lot more when you have more volume to allow for you to increase higher based on the simple fact that there's more money coming into the coin. Okay, so we have a lot more people investing in PYR, for example. Therefore, it's sustaining itself higher. And that's why the RSI over 70 on the 1 day can be very telling if you concurrently have volume. That's what we're seeing here. Once again, we have a nice little ascending type of continuation pattern here. And I would say by April 10th, April 11th-ish, we should absolutely have broken this resistance here at about 1860. It'll probably happen sooner, but I'm just giving kind of a better case scenario. Within the next week, we'll see that break to the upside, and we will hit, as a community, our $20 mark, I would say within the next 2 weeks tops. Probably a lot sooner. Once again, I'm being very, very conservative here because PYR, increased volume, volatility, price is going up. If we see this kind of volume throughout the work week, we're going to be in really good shape. So just keep that in mind. We have literally nothing adverse here. I like the fact that the RSI has calmed down and relaxed too on the 4-hour time frame, because when you see an RSI over 70, it has a tendency of pulling back. Even though it didn't pull back specifically, that's because we have a lot of volume. We got the RSI to come down and bounce off of 50. So in a perfect world, we get the RSI to calm down and bounce off of 50 because you can see this nice, strong support level held in place by the RSI. Okay, and these things happen more frequently in bullish trends, or of course the inverse applies as well in bearish trends. When you have a lot of sideways action, it's really hard to get a read on it, but honestly, when coins are performing as well as PYR, it's easy to anticipate how much better they're going to do based on these simple little sentiments here, right? So anyways, good stuff there in that sense. We don't really need to worry about the MACD. We know it's definitely on the right track. Looking at the 1 hour, why don't we go and identify the cloud and kind of see here. This is something I just want to kind of touch on. You can see the lagging span is intersected with the price action, kind of breaking free now. But generally speaking, it's not like giving us a buy signal, right? But the one thing you do need to understand is that we are still above the cloud, which is perfect. Our conversion line's above the baseline, and technically the lagging span is free and clear of price action. So, you could stretch it out and say this is a buy signal right now. I wouldn't recommend necessarily buying at this exact time. I do think we might see a slight pullback. But why don't we look at some other things too to kind of identify. Let's quickly double check the TD sequential. First of all, we're not exhausted at any stretch of the imagination. We did hit a 9, went into a little bit of overtime, got a reset up to 5, down to 8, 5, up to a 9, and over to a 5 again. So really, I mean, it's kind of all over the place, so you can't really extract a lot from there. But the general consensus here is that now that we got a reset, or we're just say we're at a 5, the likelihood of us having more sideways action from here is pretty high. I don't think we should expect the price to just kind of surge, but stranger things have happened. What I would love to see, though, is that the volume continue to maintain, but also go sideways. Build more volume to kind of start exhausting those bears, and then to push through that barrier that we have here tentatively of roughly about 1725 to 1750. We can get a 1-day candlestick close above that, we're going to be in pretty good shape. But for right now, it has proven to be becoming somewhat of a resistance channel there, somewhat of a resistance level. But you can see the same thing happened here before too. You can see the price gets stuck at a specific price point, tested once, twice, 3, 4 times. We've gotten 1, 2, 3 tests of this level, and it hasn't broken through yet. But again, it is weakening, and that's important. But the good news is this resistance channel is weakening, while concurrently we're likely going to be strengthening this trend line. Okay. So again, all good stuff here. There's no reason why Vulcan Forge will not continue higher. There's not much in the cards here to kind of show us that it plans to turn itself around. It has also proven to do very well in the past. I wouldn't expect a parabolic increase, but it has potential to do so. And in a sense, you can kind of think about it. This is parabolic to a degree, because a little over 2 weeks ago, maybe 16, 17 days ago, we're up about 126% from there. Okay, that's much higher than most other coins right now. So just something to be mindful of. I think that's important to be aware and just to kind of keep an open mind on certain things. But for lack of better terms, yeah, $20 is extremely likely. I think we're going to see that once again within the next week or two as a worst case scenario. Hypothetically, we get some consolidation to the side, nice leg up again, we'll be primed and ready to go. For right now, it is tentatively overextended. In fact, why don't we take a look at TD sequential here on the 1 day? You can see that it's obviously continued up for quite some time and hasn't slowed down. That's why consolidation would be very helpful here so we don't get a significant pullback. I would love to see that. Of course, we don't always get what we want, but that is how cryptocurrency works, right? So I hope you found benefit here today and learned something, of course, from what I provided. If you want to learn a lot more, CryptoCache.tech is a website, link in the description below. If you want to become a better trader and learn from my trading signals that I share for everyone that are fully automated. Really cool experience. Again, check that out in your own time. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks again for joining me here. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.